The fundamental types can be categorized according to what they hold, what kind of information they hold. So there are a series of types, for example, that hold integers, numbers without a fractional part, like 3 or 702. And in C++, we have short, long, int, unsigned short, unsigned long, and unsigned int. Short and long are, as you can probably guess from their names, different lengths. They have a different number of bits in them. And int is a convenient type that is actually chosen a length to be the most efficient on the machine where it's running. So if you really don't care about the length at all because you're just going to put a number in it like 3, int is a great choice. The unsigned versions can each hold a number twice as large as the signed versions because they don't use a bit for sign. We'll talk more about how many bits a number can hold and what happens if you try to put over large numbers in a little while. You won't go wrong when you first start by just putting integers into variables of type int. It's easy to remember, it's probably right, and unless you happen to be getting near the limit of the number that can fit into the bits, you're going to be doing just fine. And that's a very large number, as you'll see shortly. Now, if your number has a fractional part, if it's 7.2, 3.29, then that's a real number, and you can use either float or a double. And double has more capacity, can hold larger numbers and more digits of precision than float can. Most of the time, just put things in doubles and your life will tick along as you expect. There's also a type called character, and believe it or not, C++ people argue about how to say the name of this type. Some people, including me, pronounce it car, but you will meet people who call it char. Take my advice and don't argue about how to pronounce variable types. If someone says char, this is what they mean. If someone says car, this is what they mean. You pronounce it however you want. There's even an unsigned car, which probably doesn't sound like it makes any sense. I mean, what's minus a? Or, for that matter, how is plus y different from minus y? Well, because car is a very small number of bits, only 8 bits, people sometimes use it to hold little numbers, like 3. And they therefore want to be able to distinguish whether they're putting, say, minus 3 in it or a positive number. So car and unsigned car can technically be used for numbers. They can also be used to hold a single letter. And finally, we can round out our fundamental types with Boolean values, true or false, and they are of type bool. The only values you can put into a bool are true or false, but there are ways to convert to that from other values, and one thing you'll especially see when we get into operators is people converting back and forth from numbers to Boolean. But the only values a bool can hold are true or false.